afflicted, aches, dizziness, chills, fevers the Earthlings overwhelmed. Let us the Earthlings curing teach, how themselves to remedy to learn, so did Ninharsag say. This by decree I forbid, ENlil to her retorted. In the lands where to the Earthlings have spread, waters from their sources did not rise, the earth shut its womb, vegetation did not sprout. Let us the Earthlings pond and canal building teach, let them from the seas fish and sustenance obtain, so did Enki to the other leaders say. This by decree I forbid, ENlil to Enki said. Let the Earthlings by hunger and pestilence perish. For one Shah the Earthlings ate the grasses of the fields, for the second Shah and the third Shah the vengeance of ENlil they suffered. In Shurubak, Ziusudra's city, the suffering unbearable was becoming. To Eridu, Ziusudra, also known as Noah, of the Earthlings a spokesman, journeyed. To the house of the Lord Enki he made his way, by the name of his lord he called. For help and salvation to him he pleaded. Enki by ENlil's decrees was bound. In those days the Anunnaki for their own surviving were concerned. Their own rations were diminished. By Earth's changes they themselves afflicted and aged quicker became. On Earth as on Mars, the seasons their regularity lost. For one Shah, for two Shahs, from Nibiru the heavenly circuits were studied. Oddities in the planetary destinies from Nibiru were observed. On the sun's face, black spots were appearing. From its face flames shot up. The planet Kishar, known as also, was misbehaving. Its host its footings lost, dizzying were their circuits. The hammered bracelet known as the asteroid belt was by unseen net forces pulled and pushed. For reasons unfathomed, the sun its family was upsetting. The destinies of the celestials by unsavory fates were overtaken. On Nibiru the savants' alarms raised. In the public squares the people gathered. The creator of all, to primordial days the heavens is returning. Angry is the creator of all. Voices from amongst the people shouted. On earth the tribulations were increasing. Fear and famine their heads reared. For 3 Shahs, for 4 Shahs, the instruments the White Land facing were observed. By Nergal and Ereshkigal, odd rumblings in the White Land snows were recorded. The snow ice that the White Land covers is sliding. So did they from Abzu's tip report. In the land beyond the seas, Ninurta in his haven foretelling instruments established, quakes and jitters at the earth's bottom with the instruments he noticed. An odd matter is afoot, so did ENlil to Anu on Nibiru words of alarm send. For the 5th Shah, for the 6th Shah, the phenomena gained strength. On Nibiru the savants an alarm raised, of calamities to the king they forewarnings gave. The next time Nibiru the sun shall be nearing, Earth to Nibiru's net force exposed shall be. Mars in its circuits on the sun's other side shall a station take. From the net force of Nibiru, Earth in the heavens protection shall not have. Kishar and its host agitated shall be. Mars shall also shake and wobble. In Earth's great below, the snow ice of the White Land its footing is losing. The next time Nibiru the closest to Earth shall approach, the snow ice off the White Land's surface shall come a-sliding. A watery calamity it shall cause. By a huge wave, a deluge, the earth will be overwhelmed. On Nibiru great was the consternation, uncertain about Nibiru's own fate. Kings, savants, and counselors about Earth and Mars also greatly worried. The king and the counselors a decision made. For evacuating Earth and Mars, the Anunnaki must prepare. In the Abzu, the gold mines shut down. There from the Anunnaki to the Eden came. In Bad Tibira smelting and refining ceased. All gold to Nibiru was lofted. Empty, for evacuating ready, a fleet of fast celestial chariots to Earth returned. On Nibiru, the heavenly signs were watched. On Earth, the tremors recorded were. It was at that time that from one of the celestial chariots, a white-haired Anunnaki stepped off. Galzu, Great Noah, was his name. With steps majestic to ENlil his way he made. To him a sealed message from Anu he presented. I am Galzu, emissary plenipotentiary of king and council. To ENlil he said. By his coming ENlil was surprised. No word from Anu of that did forecome. ENlil the seal of Anu examined. Unbroken and authentic it was. In Nibruki the message tablet was read. Its encoding was trustworthy. For king and council Galzu speaks, his words are my command. So did the message from Anu state. That Enki and Ninharsag be also summoned was Galzu's request. When they came to Ninharsag, Galzu pleasantly smiled. "Of the same school and age we are," to her he said. This Ninharsag could not recall. The emissary was as young as a son, she was as his olden mother. Simple is the explanation. Galzu to her said, "By our winter's slumbered life cycles it is caused. Indeed, this matter is of my mission apart. About the evacuation, it is a secret." Ever since Dumuzi on Nibiru had stayed, returning Anunnaki on Nibiru examined were. Those who on Earth the longest stayed by the returning harshly were afflicted. Their bodies to Nibiru's cycles were accustomed no longer. Their sleep was disturbed, their eyesight was failing, the net force of Nibiru weighted their walk. Their minds were also affected, as sons were older than the parents they had left. Death, my comrades, to the returnees quickly came. Of that, I am here a warning to give. The three leaders, on Earth the longest, by the words silent became. Ninharsag was the first to speak. That much was to be expected, she was saying. Enki, the wise one, to her words consented. That much was clear, he said. ENlil with anger was seized. Before, the Earthlings like us were becoming. Now we as Earthlings have become to this planet imprisoned. This whole mission to a nightmare turned by Enki and his Earthlings from masters to slaves we were made. To the outburst, Galzu with compassion listened. Indeed, much there is to ponder, he said. On Nibiru, much thinking and soul-searching deep questions are raising. Should Nibiru to its fate been left, whatever by the Creator of all intended, to be let to happen, or was the coming to Earth by the Creator of all conceived? And we only unwitting emissaries. Of that, my comrades, the debate will continue. So was Galzu to them saying, "Now this is the secret command from Nibiru. The three of you on Earth will remain. Only to die to Nibiru you will return. In celestial chariots, the Earth encircling, the calamity you shall outwait. To each of the other Anunnaki, a choice to leave or the calamity outwait must be given. The Igigi who Earthlings espoused must between departure and spouses choose. No Earthling, Marduk Sarpanit included, to Nibiru to journey is allowed. For all who stay and what happens see, in celestial chariots they safety must seek. As for all the others, to depart for Nibiru forthwith they ready must be." So did Galzu Nibiru's commands to the leaders in secret reveal. Now this is the account of how the Anunnaki to abandon Earth decided, and how an oath they took mankind, to let in the deluge perish. In Nibruki, ENlil a council of Anunnaki and Igigi commanders summoned. The leaders' sons and their children also were present. Word of the impending calamity, ENlil to them a secret revealed. "To a bitter end, Earth's mission has come," said ENlil. "All who wish to leave will leave in celestial boats to Nibiru will be evacuated. But if Earthling spouses they have, without the spouses they must leave. Igigi, who to their spouses and offspring attached are, let them to the highest peaks on Earth escape. As for a few of us Anunnaki who will choose to stay, in boats of heaven in Earth's skies will we remain, the calamity to outwait, the fate of Earth to witness. As the commander, I shall be the first one to stay." So was ENlil saying. "By their own choice will be the others. With my father I choose to stay, the calamity to face." So did Ninurta announce, "To the lands beyond the oceans after the deluge, I will return." Nana, ENlil's on Earth firstborn, an odd wish announced, the deluge to outwait not in Earth's skies but on the moon. That was his wish. Enki an eyebrow raised. ENlil, though puzzled, approved. Ishkur, ENlil's youngest, to remain on Earth with his father, his decision made. Utu and Inanna, Nana's children who on Earth were born to stay they declared. Enki and Damkina known as Ninki, to stay and Earth not abandon chose. Proudly they so announced. The Igigi and Sarpanit I shall not desert, Marduk with anger stated. One by one Enki's other sons their choice to stay announced, Nergal and Gibel, Ninagal and Ningish Zida and Dumuzi too. All eyes to Ninharsag then turned. With pride her choice to stay she declared, "My life work is here. The Earthlings I helped engineer and create, I shall not abandon." By her words, Anunnaki and Igigi to a clamor were stirred. About the Earthlings' fate they inquired. "Let the Earthlings for the abominations perish," so did ENlil proclaim. "A wondrous being by us was created, by us saved it must be," Enki to ENlil shouted. To this ENlil with his own shouted words retorted, "From the very beginning at every turn, the decisions by you modified were. To primitive workers procreating you gave, to them knowledge of good and evil you endowed. The powers of the creator of all into your hands you have taken. With fornication Adapa you conceived, understanding to his line you gave. His offspring to the heavens you have taken, our wisdom with them you shared. Every rule you have broken, decisions and command you ignored. Because of you, by a civilized Earthling brother, a brother was murdered. Because of Marduk, your son the Ejiji, like him with Earthlings intermarried. Who is lordly from Nibiru, to whom the earth alone belongs? To no one is no longer known. Enough, enough to all that I say, the abominations cannot continue. Now that a calamity by a destiny unknown has been ordained, let what must happen, happen." So did ENlil angrily proclaim. That all leaders solemnly swear to let events unhindered occur, of all ENlil demanded. First to take the oath of silence was Ninurta, others of ENlil's side followed. Nergal of Enki's sons was first to take the oath, others of Enki's sons followed. "To your command I bow," Marduk to ENlil said, "but of what worth is the swearing? If Igigi their spouses will abandon, would not the fear among the Earthlings spread?" Ninhursag was in tears, the words of the oath she faintly whispered. ENlil at his brother Enki gazed. "It is the wish of king and council," to him he said. "Why will you bind me with an oath?" Enki to his brother ENlil asked. "The decision by you was made. On earth it is a commandment. The floodwaters I cannot arrest, the earthling multitudes I cannot save. To what oath to bind me you therefore desire?" So did Enki his brother ask. "To let it all happen as if by fate decreed, let it as ENlil's decision be known. On ENlil alone let the responsibility forever rest." So did Enki to all pronounce. Then Enki from the assembly departed disappointed. Marduk with him also left. With quick words of command, ENlil the assembly to order brought tasks for what was to be done, he with firm decisions assigned. Between those who will depart and those who will stay the grouping arrange. Places for assembly to designate, equipment to collect, chariots to assign. First to depart were those who to Nibiru were returning, with much embracing and the locking of arms, in joy mixed with sorrow. The celestial boats they boarded. One after the other, the vehicles from Sipar roared aloft. At first those left behind journey safely. I shouted, then muted were the cries. After the launchings toward Nibiru completed were, the turn of Marduk and the Ejiji with Earthling spouses came. Marduk them all on the landing place assembled, a choice to them he gave. With him and Sarpanit and 2 sons and the daughters to Lahmu go, there the calamity outwait, or to distant mountain lands on earth disperse, a haven from the deluge to find. ENlil then of those who remained took account, by groupings to them chariots he assigned. Ninurta to the mountain lands beyond the oceans, ENlil directed on earth's rumblings to report. While the others sat idly waiting, Enki and Ninhursag a challenging task undertook. Ninhursag in Shurabak by some of her female assistants was helped. Enki by Ningish Zida in the Abzu at the Olden House of Life was assisted. Male and female essences and life eggs they collected, of each kind 2 by 2, 2 by 2, they in Shurabak and the Abzu preserved, for safekeeping while in Earth circuit to be taken, thereafter the living kinds to recombine. At that time word from Ninurta came, Earth's rumblings ominous are. At that time word from Nergal and Ereshkigal came, she said, the white land is shaken. In Sipar all the Anunnaki gathered, the day of the great flood has arrived.